Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, lions and guests. This morning we're going to be talking about how to prepare to be a club officer, and our presenter this morning will be past district governor, immediate past district governor, Fannie Chiu. Fannie was born in Hong Kong. She came to the United States as a foreign student, and she lived in many places across the states. She ended up in San Francisco, and she is now in her 30th year as a Lion of the San Francisco Chinatown Lions. She's held many leadership positions, including, as I said, district governor last year, and she's received many awards, including several International President Awards. She's a Progressive Melvin Jones Fellow, she's a Helen Keller Fellow, and she has a few more, but she elected not to let us know what they are. She is a LSEP graduate. She's LCI certified as an instructor in 2019. The New Lions University faculty a member this year, and she's bilingual. She's going to be giving her presentation in Chinese, so no, I'm kidding. And she's bilingual in Chinese and English, and she likes to travel wherever possible. She certainly doesn't mind doing Zoom meetings, but she'd rather go travel. So if you have anything you'd like, you have a subject that nobody else wants to give, all you have to do is contact Fannie and she'll be there in a heartbeat. Let's give a warm round of applause for Ms. Fannie Chiu.
Thank you, Dean Mike. Oopsie. That's a good way to start. Everybody can hear me good? Great. Okay, so good morning again. I want to thank you all very much for setting your alarm if you need to. And I have a few more people from my district that were supposed to come and promised me they would be here to give me the moral support. Guess what? We have a birthday celebration last night. So they went to karaoke and they went to the outside library to network, right? So I'm pretty sure they can't make it this morning. But I'm so glad that all of you are here. And sincerely, this is my first time making a presentation to the forum, and so be kind to me. Okay, so as you know that our topic today is preparing to be club officer. So I kind of want to know, for us to know each other also, is that how many of us here have been club officers? Most of you. Okay, how many are holding current title for this Lion year?
Our club officers?
Yes, holding current title as club officers this Lion year since July. So I know that how relevant the material that we are talking about is relevant to you. What about future ones? Let's say that you are baby lion. Baby lion means you're new lion within the first newborn to 2 months, or seasoned lion that finally you have decided to step up. Thank you. Okay, so now we are here is that I always like a session to be meaningful. It's not a one-way street. It's always two-way. And so whatever we're talking up here, please see yourself relating to the subject. And then think along the line, and then when you write notes, it's more important not so much to write down what was being said, but how it hits you. What is your wow moment, and what are you going to do going back home using those information? Isn't that more important to you? Right? Yes. So that's how we would like to. I will ask Dean Mike to keep me on track because I can talk. I'm used to teaching a course that is 5-day, 8:30 to 5, by myself, So you know I can talk. So I need him to keep me on track, and all of you keep me on track too. I will try to engage all of you as we may be, but at the same time, please allow me to kind of keep our time management on course so that we cover all the material, and hopefully we will save some time for the sharing at the Q&A. How's that? Good? Okay, all right, so let's proceed. Where's my clicker? Okay, this is what we'd like to achieve today, our objective. You came here because you're attracted by the topic. And what are we trying to do? So see yourself in this. We would like to be able to enable and empower all of you, the past, current, and future Line Club officers with knowledge, skill, and most importantly, resources. Because you're not going to remember what I said, trust me. Every time they say that you need to repeat something, I'm sorry, I think I do not see some of you out there. Okay, so maybe I should go this way? No, then I'm away from the mic. So see, now you see I'm not that experienced. But anyway, so it's very important to have the resources for you to go back so that you can always count on it, not only that count on getting the information, but also counting on you yourself, updating yourself with the latest. Isn't that one of our challenge, that the information we see is outdated? As we speak, it's already outdated. But so that's very important. It's up to you to update yourself. Okay, in order to be successful in all your respective roles as Lion Club officers. So these are some of the areas that we will touch on. First of all, we will go through a standard club structure to see where the club officers are within that structure. We will go very brief description of the club officer's role and responsibilities. Of course, as you know, leadership calls for special skills. I'm not listing all the skills. It's just that in my experience, and we will be brainstorming a little bit, these are some of the more important skills that you must have in order to be a competent, effective leader. We will be talking a little bit about a tool which is called the SWOT analysis. How many of you heard of SWOT?
Heard but have no idea what it is.
Okay, so we'll briefly touch on it. And it is a very, very effective, very, very practical tool that you can use. So as we know, every day is not rosy. Every responsibility, every role that we are called for, and certainly leaders have all kinds of challenges. And so I will highlight some of the most common one as a club officer, as a leader that you will come across. And please, in your own notes, this is that I'm stimulating you so that you will think about the challenges that you yourself already having or will anticipate to encounter. So, and then come up at least with one or two solutions, ideas that you will try out to overcome. It's not good enough just to know the challenge. The idea of knowing the challenge is to know how to overcome it. So, okay, and also with all that, we talked about knowledge and skills and resources. It's very important that you continue in trainings. I'm like a sponge. I love trainings. So I took I can't say all the courses at Lyon University, but in most of it, because the subject matter attracts me and I wanted to know more about it. So team and mentoring for sustainability and success. So we're talking about not just an individual, you yourself as in your role as your club officer, but where you are in that team so that you collaborate and bring out a success. And to round it all, full cycle is transition and succession. All of you who have been know that it's very, very difficult to, almost every year, one of the challenges getting leaders to step up, finding your replacement. so passing down the baton. So we need to be focused on the transition and succession from the beginning so that it will become a full cycle. This is what we hope to touch on today. So first of all now is this one. Have anybody seen this? Yes, great. And I will hope that you will find it and print a copy of it out at easy access, because this is very useful for you when you as a club officer to work with. It's great for training, so that you know, and then so it's great for team effort when you see all of you, where each one of you are, and how do you work together. So this is actually LCI's proposal of a standard club structure. So you will see all the positions, like the president is over here, and the club officers, the name of the club officers, and up there, and then the board functioning with all the committees. So this is a good reference for you. And then also LCI's suggestion of the club officers also double up in their role and responsibility as LCIF coordinator, the GAT, GMT. So I would use this. Now, one thing I want to point out is, interestingly, I only found that out when I was doing research, and that was that lion tamer and the tail twisters are optional, along with the safety officer. We don't talk about the safety officer that much until recently. I'm from MD4, and that is California. When we have the youth protection issue, I'm sure it hits all over, right? It's universal, and also in Canada and the US. So that becomes the safety officer become a more prominent situation. So relate that to your own club and your own district situation. So now let's go very, very briefly into the roles and responsibilities. Because actually, each of these club officers have a lot more to do than what is being highlighted up here. But I have the very brief highlight of it so that it's easy for us to relate the information to your club officers and to your team members, what is the most important thing that you're doing. And we talked about the resources. At the very end, there will be links for you to go to all different areas for details about all this, each of these roles. They will have for example, president, you will have the ebooks, right? And then all kinds of training path. For each one of this, you will have very in-depth ebook trainings and so on, this thick and this much. Okay, so just to let you know, this is just scratching the surface. So club presidents, do we have current club presidents here? Oh, great. So you are actually almost 3 months already on the job, right? So, and then believe me, time really, really flies. Yes, so the time to be prepared is actually before July 1st. Yes, I see all the heading. You wish that you knew something about that, right? So in our district, we usually have the officer training for the incoming year, the new line year, no later than early June. To me, it's already a little too late. Okay, so, but at least we are before July 1st so that they can hit the ground running. So the club officer, you are the chief, the CEO, the chief executive officer of a club, and you preside at all the meetings of the club and the board of directors. So, and you are also the ex-official in every one of the committees. Just so you know, the buck stop here. Stop at your place. And I always say, club leaders, district governors, the one who are kind of being pushed as the head of the crowd in that particular role, I always say that is the right attitude is that when things go right, the credits go to your team. When things go wrong, you step up and say, it's my fault. Okay, that's where the buck stopped there. Okay, the immediate past president, so I've been the immediate past president and now I'm the IPDG, the immediate pandemic past district governor. So I am constantly, and I have been in the many of the past leadership roles before. So I know, and I'm very conscious and remind myself how to act as a past. It's very difficult, because you have all this, you think you know it all, okay? So all the knowledge and skill, and I know it all because I've done it, But every time is different, situation is different. Every person have their own style. And so what you need to do is be respectful of that and assist the current president as needed. I would have underscored the as needed. That's hard to, it's easy to say things, it's more difficult to shut up, I think. Right, okay, so that is a challenge there. And you also is recommended to serve as the LCIF, which is the Lions Club International Foundation, the charitable portion of our Lions Club International coordinator for the club. So you know that there's the LCIF for the club, and then a lot of the clubs don't have that. Which is, but I really strongly recommend it, that you have one, and usually you can have the immediate past, but it doesn't have to be. So now we go to the vice presidents, the first and the second, and sometimes we have the third, which is great because now you have leadership in line for transition and succession. But sometimes we have a void. So let's try, the goal is not to have a void, at least to have the first. Okay, so the VP next in rank, you are very important because you have to step up at any moment in place. If president is unable to perform the duties, it could be any of the duties. It could be representing, the president out there in community meetings. It could be conducting your club meetings. It could be really anything. And you may be pushed into that position more than once if some disaster strikes. And believe me, it happens. So you have to be ready. The first vice president is recommended to serve as the GLT and the GAT. All this acronym we are so used to in our Lions that we use. So I'm constantly reminding myself, yes, we use it, but at the same time, let's also spell it all out, right? The global leadership and the global action team. And if I go into a long string of acronym, call me out on it. We are all guilty of that. So club secretary, I started off actually as a little advisor because I have to drive my kids to the meeting anyway, So, but the next step that I learned Lionism leadership through being a club secretary, because I truly believe the club secretary knows it all. They know more than the president, right? They absolutely know everything. Okay, so I think if you are thinking about your path as a line leadership, club president would be an excellent position for you to learn all the things about Lionism. Okay, so the club president, the club secretary is not only all those, but organize the club and the board meetings, prepares the agenda and minutes, keeps all the records, complete and file all the club reports. And what are some of the club reports, like the PU 101, right? The MMR. I'm sorry, these really are the acronyms, but you know what I mean, And so why are we highlighting this? So that the president, the VP know also that this is the job of the secretary, so that you call to that secretary and say, and keep yourself, if that monthly, the DGs, the district governor receive a health club assessment from LCI, right? Yeah, and so they tells you a lot of the things. One of them, the first thing you look at would be membership, and then you look at MMR, did all the club reports. Then, if they are not, then you look to who? You look to the club secretary to follow up and make sure that they're on track to do it. So for you, all of you, is to go home and make sure that you are all on track in the reporting of it. Membership chair is also, as the club GMT, is the global membership team. So membership focus on now it's not just increasing new members. Very important, we forgot, retention, closing the back door. It's so difficult to get new members. Why not spend that extra effort closing the door and keeping your current one, engaging them, okay, so that you don't lose them, except by nature. Okay, service chair is your club GST, that's Global Service Team. And sometimes, a lot of times, you don't have anybody doing that. A lot of times, practically, it's whoever come up with a special project and the chairperson of that committee or whatever, right? That practically, this is what I see. Instead of having a special person doing that, you will have that special service project chair of that be in that position in planning and executing service projects. But you do have someone, and if nobody is in that title, guess who does that? Who does that? Who does the reporting then, if nobody else? Got it. Thank you. You're all awake, including me. I have to be awake because I'm talking. Okay, so reporting the SAR, they call it SAR, which is the Service Activity Report to LCI. Now, I don't know about your district. In my district, we struggle. We struggle in the SAR. Before my year, it was only 20-some% of reporting. And then in my year, we struggle, and we brought it up to 48%. In the whole entire California, we have, I believe, the most two, but I believe only one district was able to do 100% reporting. And how did they do it? They do have a way of doing it. They have assigned an administrator in the district to be the fallback person to make all the reports of all the club, because we all know all our clubs went out and do things, right? Even during pandemic, all the club did some kind of service. They're just not reporting it. Okay, and why is this so important? It's not just numbers. It's because collectively, LCIF needs those numbers in order to let the world know. They're asking for money. You can't just ask money. People want to know where you spend your money, and then these are where the solid numbers come from all of us. The actual number that we serve, number of people, number of service hours, volunteer, and so on. So we at least have to do our part. Unless your club officer do their part, and I cannot urge you more I'm trying so hard, I know it is a challenge, I know it's a difficulty, but it is very important to report your SAR. Okay, LCIF coordinator, like I said, LCIF stands for Foundation, that's correct. And what do they deal with? They deal with donations, money, fundraising for LCI. Okay, so I think sometime if you have time and you go to LCI, just put in the title like Google search and read a little bit about it, and see what the collective number is. Maybe a slide of those would be very helpful for you to use in your club and so on. So the LCIF coordinator promotes awareness and club participation in LCIF campaign and donation. What is the campaign at LCIF still going on now? Yeah, well, you can't answer because you know all the answer. No? I look to you for the ultimate answer. Yeah. So, correct, that's the Campaign 100. And what is the goal that they have? 300 million. Where are we now? Yes, so we have to chase after, at least they're putting in the deadline to, I believe this is the last year, right? So by June next year, we are supposed to raise 300 million. So we all have to step up. Our clubs have to step up, and your club officer will have to step up in engaging all your club members in this effort. Okay, marketing communication chair. Very few have it. So let me see how many of you in your club. Oh, congratulations. Very good. Very good. Guess what? My motto as DG still is, be seen, be heard, be known. So I'm very conscious about marketing and branding and promoting Lionism. But it went further than that. You know, in the whole brand of Lionism is where your club is, right? Your club have special, you're special. You serve a special role in your specific local community. So how do you highlight that to connect so that your community knows you are being heard, being seen, and being known in your community? That's a great effort so that you can also, it's a great way to draw and recruit members and also to engage your members in those service projects in order to keep them and retain them. So marketing communication. How many of your club do have newsletters as a way? So some of the others who doesn't have the hands up, you can think of it, consider it. I know that not everyone, it is quite an effort, and it needs some kind of a skill to do it. But there are trainings for it too. So if you do need help, just ask, and help will be around. Newsletter is a very, very good way. Right? Those of you who do it, it's a very, very effective communication tool. Okay, optional is, like I said, is the line tamer and the tail twister. Although they say optional, I highly recommend that because you know that they do have specific job duties, right? Oh yes, the lion tamer keep all your physical property, safeguard your bell and gavel. How many of you have it stolen? I don't know if it's just a California thing or is this a worldwide lion thing that you can still. It's a lion thing. Okay, so that's a very important person then. That's a security officer, safeguarding your bell and gavel. That's also a little bit of a fun thing. And then also the tail twister is also the one who set the tone, make the meeting fun, make sure that the new members are being welcomed and being part of. But most importantly, collect your happy dollar. Because we always know that I think I'm missing, one of the most important, I think I'm missing a treasure. Oh, did I cover treasure? Huh? Earlier? No? No? Club treasurer. I have it, but I didn't say it. Right. So no one says, I think I missed it. Okay, the club treasurer, talking about money, right, maintains the club receipts and disbursement, prepares and submit the monthly and annual financial report to board. So the person has to be very meticulous and really do it good. And I have seen clubs not meeting, but even if you don't meet, I highly, highly think that it is necessary for the treasurer to do a monthly financial reporting no matter what. If you table it 1 month, and then pretty soon the next month, and pretty soon time flies, and then the whole thing falls apart. So I can't underscore that monthly thing too, okay, being there. And you know that as Lions, a lot of the club did not know that but there is the administrative and the charitable, the two accounts, and you don't commingle them. So those are some of the things that you need to go to really in-person trainings for all this in order to be able to practice the best practices, financial practices for Lions. Okay, so let me get back. Optional, okay, tail twister, the happy dollar. Okay, so I do believe in having lion tamer and tail twister. So now let's go on to another topic, which is the skills that we talk about. So I just thought about these as some of the things that I know is critical. This is not the entire list. Communication. That is the first and most important communication. How effective, your team works. All the leaders need to have good communication skill, and it start off with effective listening. You got to listen more and talk less. So, communication skill. Another thing is all the leaders is presentation and public speaking. I'm not talking just about the president and the vice president. It's actually, I think, presentation and public skill is called for all lions. You all heard about the elevator speech? Elevator speech is in the time that you take an elevator ride. Even if it's the tallest building that I went to in Dubai, it took less than a minute, to be all the way up there. So that's an elevator ride. So within that short time frame, we all have to have an elevator speech on, why do I become a lion? How did I become a lion? What is Lions? What is my club? What is our club's signature fundraising? What is our upcoming event? Any slight topic. All lions, wouldn't you agree? All lions should be trained to have that kind of thinking on your feet and also be able to talk about lion at any time and all times. Okay, so that is. And you can learn those presentation and public speaking. One very good venue is being a Toastmasters. And we do have line clubs that also work with a Toastmaster or have their own Toastmaster group. I really highly recommend that too. So my husband is very big on Toastmaster, so if I do well, it's my my effort. If it doesn't do well, blame him. Okay, another organization is the organization skill is very important. You need to be organized. Can you imagine that your secretary is not organized? Everything, all your schedule will fall apart, right? So organization is everybody's skill. So a lot of time when we talk about leadership, we are talking about every line. We're talking about every person. Okay, need to develop that. All the kids, I believe, need to start learning about all those and practice all those. Okay, time management. Is that critical? Yes, and it starts with what? Being on time. Okay, that is the cardinal basic one, but how many of us fail in that? First, as leaders, you must be on time. Okay, so because everybody is looking at you. To do the right thing. So the least you can do is be there on time. So if your meeting starts at 9 o'clock, be there no later than 8:45. That is your time, okay? Yeah. So and also it's very important for all the club to start on time. Your meetings start on time, end of time. Your committee meetings, everything like that. So everybody needs to learn about time management. The most difficult, and that is always my own challenge too, I never mind all the work because I know I can learn specifically step by step how to do things and get things done. People is a different story. There's no book on people. There are personalities, there are styles, okay, that will guide you, but each one is different that you meet. We are all individuals, and as a CEO, you don't have any power to fire someone when they don't work together. Volunteer organization is much more challenging. You cannot fire them. You can only motivate them, and you have to work with them. Okay, so to me, the people management portion is for me, myself, is the most challenging skill that I have to develop. But believe me, if you are put in that position, there's plenty of practice for you. They come at you in all different forms of fire. So in last year, I learned to be a very good fireman. Not the best, still learning, but I do believe I came a long way. So some of the skills in people management is like delegating, engaging and delegating all your club officers in your club cabinet, and also all the lions, old and new. Okay, it's very important to remember to engage your new member. The first time you find out what they want, and then you engage them. Very, very critical. And conflict resolution. We all don't want conflict, but are they real? They are real. And when you have individuals that have to work together and can't, there is the call for the conflict resolution. And there are trainings for conflict resolutions. And if you go to all the Advanced Leadership Institute and all those, they do have specifically a conflict resolution. They have actually most of these covered, right, in their training portion. So I want to ask someone share with us what is some other leadership skill that is called for that's not being listed up here. Go ahead. Absolutely. Very, very critical. As a leader, you are the motivational and inspirational model. Very good. Thank you, sir. You get your answer so short that I want to give it somebody else. Other leadership skill that is not being listed here, that you feel that is critical to your situation. Yes. Strategic. Yes, so your vision, keep that in mind, the word strategic, okay, when we talk about SWOT analysis. Great, so you know that I would like for you to set up in your own notes the leadership skill that you would like to have yourself, and also what you see that you would like to focus on to get the training on for your club and in your situation. So the next would be the SWOT. So yes, thank you, Dean Mike. So I have some copy, I hope it's enough. If not, then I'm happy to email them to you. These are the postcards that I did for the SWOT analysis. Up there, the link, because I did it for my clubs and my district, and so I did. The source was from MD4, was from Multiple District 4. And I checked it before I come today, and it is still current. So if you go to that site, you can still find more information. They have a PowerPoint on SWOT that is quite interesting. So now I also want to let you know about the card. I found a very good deal, and it will come around. You all have Walgreens. Now some of you may not have Walgreens, okay? You don't, okay. So those of you who have Walgreens, or you may look at some other places, but look and find the place that do printing. I am able to, they have good deals. How good are the deals? The card that you're looking on cost me 9 cents. 9 cents per copy. So 100 copy per 100 copy you order, it's $9 plus tax. How expensive it is. Something like that you give to your club officers or whatever, it's something you can remind them to use. So that is one of the two I use. So now let's get back on what is SWOT. What is SWOT? What does S stand for? Strength. W, yes. O, and T, threats. So these are the 4 quadrants that you have to work on. And then so you are building on the blue one, the blue circle. You build on your strength, and you try to eliminate your weakness, and you mitigate the threats while you are trying to utilize your opportunities. So I would say that this particular the SWOT analysis is a very practical tool, and you can use it on all levels. Use it on yourself, analyze yourself in whatever role you are as a club officer, and see What is the strength that you are in that position? Your weakness. What are the threats? And what are the opportunities? So be thyself, be true, right? To thyself, be true. So this is a very good, yes?
Is this something you do with your club members?
You can do it with anybody. You can use this on any level. You can use this with your club. You can use it with your GAT team. You can use it with your cabinet. You can do it as individuals. You can do it as a team. And then you can push it down from the club level to the district level to the MD4 level to the LCI level, right? Can you see that? That is, and it is an easy way to remember, to use. And sir, you were talking about strategic planning. So we all try to have a goal. I know some club, we just use whatever was passed along to us, and then we do that. As a district, we all have to put out in writing all the goals, but not club, right? My club, my way. And it means any way and any time. Okay, so it wasn't mandatory, my club, my way, to have your goal and vision. But from all the successful, and you can look around yourself, all the successful clubs they have goals. And if they have more of a long-range, 3-year, 5-year type of long-range goal, then the more successful they are because they have a vision. They have now, once they have a goal, they can set up, like the gentleman say, strategy, right? You can plan. Then you can, when the planning is the action plan, you can look at it and you can still analyze it with the SWOT analysis. Is this goal? This is the stated goal. So what is the strength and weakness in this? What is the opportunity and threat in that goal? Okay, does it work for us? So with all this SWOT analysis, we can get overwhelmed. So I would recommend that you do no more than 3 items. In fact, when you're just starting to use this, list them all out first, prioritize them, pick one. Pick one to focus on, and try it out, and then you can add more in. Once you have a strategy, that means you have a goal, and you have a vision, you have a goal, then you have action plan, and we all say we have the SMART goals, right? Anybody heard of when you have a goal? And that means it has to be specific, it has to be realistic, achievable, and on the timeline, and so on and so forth. Okay, that's another subject for an hour-long workshop. But do you see SWOT analysis? It's a good practical tool. So may I challenge you to at least give it a try? All of you? Okay, so please. And that card is to remind you.
Penny,
Yes?
you have a statement back here.
Okay, please.
I'd like to add to what you're saying in terms of the SWOT analysis is really the foundation for the situation assessment before you get into strategic planning. So it helps you understand the conditions you're dealing with, as you explained, but it is that assessment about where we're at. And as you said, it can be applied to any component of the club itself or an event or community.
Absolutely. It's really very versatile. It's not just on people, right? Like you said, sir. It can be on a service project that you're thinking of. It can be on anything. So I would really strongly advise you maybe just to have a fun meeting together. Let's all work on it. You don't have to share it. It can be very private, but just learning how to use it. Yes, sir.
There are some exceptions to my club, my way. They're put in there for the protection of the lions, and if they don't follow those exceptions, they get into trouble.
Yes.
One is, you have 2 bank accounts, one for your administration, one for your projects.
Right.
And in small clubs, generally have 1 bank account, but they can have
Okay.
2 different records of what their money's going for. But second one is, you should have 2 signatures on the check.
That's good financial practice. Absolutely. 3 names, 2 out of 3 signatures on every check. And please, no pre-signing of the checks, please, with one signature.
We had a club that lost $50,000 because nobody volunteered to be secretary, treasurer. This woman volunteered all the time, and she siphoned off $50,000, and she didn't pay the club dues when she thought she was going to be exposed, and then she put them back in. But instead of having the early date on their charter, now their charter shows that they're only about 5 or 10 years old. And
Oh,
so those things are put in there for your safety.
absolutely.
And so when you say my club, my way, there are things that you can do, but there are safety nets in there which you need to follow. And secretaries need to be responsible. Either the secretary or now the GST can do this, reporting club activities.
Yes.
And it's important that those happen. I was on a club president last year. I says, I'd get rid of your secretary. I says, she's been there too long and she thinks that there's nothing to do for her job. It's all fun, fun, fun. And,
No, those roles and responsibility is just a highlight, okay? So please go into the detailed e-books on each one of them. You are correct, sir. And I would, I know that, but we always just say my club, my way. I think from now on, we should say my club, my way, according to the bylaws and constitution of LCI. That would at least keep us all within the framework of what you can, or really there is, like you said, there is no exception of certain things that you cannot cross the line within that, so my club, my way, within the framework of LCI, constitution and bylaw. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. Thank you, sir. And I don't have time to highlight all the things that he said, and he brought out the important things, and he was telling us, yes, things do happen. And the sad thing is so avoidable. If you just look at the best financial practice, there is a 4-page article on the best practices in financial transactions. I highly, highly recommend that all of the club subscribe to it and look at it and then do what was being recommended. And the signature situation is being mentioned.
if they have never done one, it's time for them to sit down as a group and do one.
Yes,
You'll take and learn all about your club. You'll think, oh, this is not a weakness. But when you get to talking about it, some things that you've been doing are weaknesses that you need to get out of there.
yes. And using this tool, by just saying that, oh, we're analyzing it as a tool for the strength and weakness, it's kind of take the personal thing a little bit away, right? You're focusing on the issues now.
You can say, well, I never thought of it that way. And it comes right out to you. You draw a line this way and this way.
Yep,
Put your
the quadrum,
your weaknesses and that down, and
right,
you analyze it, and
right.
it helps you to have a stronger club.
Right, and I think this should go on early, before a new year start, but it's never too late, right? You just take the first step, it's never too late. So I hope all of you will at least be open-minded enough to give it a try. Believe me, yes,
In order to do this with a club, I mean, I've not done this, but you're making me think. Is this something that you could put on a piece of paper and ask questions, pass it out to all your members? What do you think are our club's strengths?
yes.
So what you think are our club's weaknesses? What are some threats? What are some opportunities?
Like what he was saying, draw the line with the cross, with the quadrum.
So we would have to do paper,
Yeah, paper,
yeah. And then pick up all those pieces and
Yes.
look at it, because they don't have to sign their names, probably.
yes, and then you brainstorm.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good way, and a focused way of doing it. So yes, so I hope I'm really starting you to think on something and giving you a practical tool that you can actually use. Okay, so let's talk about challenges. These are some of the things as club officers in a club that I've seen most common. First is getting enough funds for administration and service projects, right? Especially we talk about administrative fund, dues and so on. You cannot take money out of that for the charitable. But most often that I've seen, it's not that way. It's the reverse way. It's the money you raised with the public, that is stored at the charitable fund was being drawn out for some type of club events or something like that. That I've seen a lot. So be very, very careful. You really, really cannot cross the line. You cannot commingle all the funds, the two funds. It really is very, very strict on that. Okay, so how do you, the second line is just some of the idea to overcome that. So you do fundraisers, right? And then, fundraiser is so difficult. Especially, what we found is that in pandemic year, last year, we normally our district raised usually about 20 to 30, last year we raised, the year before me raised $50,000 to LCIF. My year, pandemic year, with all the clubs in my district, oh my gosh, I'm so short in time. Okay, I have to hurry up. Okay, anyway, so let me go real quick on that. Then let me just go into that. Really use joint efforts, use your community, to help you out on that. Volunteers. Right, that's a challenge to get enough manpower. It's needed for your needed community projects. And if it's a community project, you can draw community, the public out there to help you out. Marketing is important. Joint efforts, leadership vacuum we already touched on a little bit, and so you need to have to always give opportunity. Remind your club people to have the trainings. And mentoring. Yesterday there was there's a topic at Line University on the BA level called mentoring. So look into that. It is good. And a step-by-step guidance, so we'll talk about the resources and all type of personality to work with as a team. Like I said, you will have drama. It's just big or small. Okay, so you need to learn how to have conflict resolution skills. And remember, kindness matters has been the theme, international theme. And also our current international president, anybody know what is his motto? Serving with your heart, right, and that's that. Too. So remember the key word of kindness and embracing, being open-minded we are a worldwide organization. We are very diverse in the U.S. Diversity is a key environmental challenge right now. So let's start with our family, and that's the Line family. So this is kind of a visual thing to help you remember, that if these are all the challenges, but you wave through them and clear your path as a leader out there. That is leadership. The other one is overcoming challenge. This is what we just went through Olympics and Paralympics, right? So what do people see? People see only the winners. And the winners and the leaders are your club president and your club officers. That's what people see. People on the pedestal. You're on the pedestal now. But what people don't see is all the things that go on behind it. And for example, like all the planning that went on, all the effort, all the sacrifices, the vision you have to give out, the rejection that you had, the fear maybe, the patience and the commitment. There's a whole slew of them there. But this is, each one of you will have your own story of struggle, your own story of challenge. Okay, so trainings are very important. So this is some of the training resources. District officer training, like I mentioned, I would recommend no less than twice a year. Latest one is June for the incoming one, and in January. Why Jan? That's half year, your half year mark. So that's usually what's recommended. For our district, I started an online digital library because did you find difficulty in trying to find everything? They're all kind of here, there, and everywhere. Okay, so what we did was trying to put all the training under one topic at easy reference, categorized online at our district website, so that it's help people easier to get trained. So MD, multiple districts, usually happen at your COG, the Council of Governors, meetings, conventions, and LCI. I don't know how many of you have. If you have not, go to the LCI. In the search, you can just Google, kind of like a Google search. You put in club officer training. There are learning paths for each of those club officers that we mentioned about. And there are ebooks on each one of the club officers that we mentioned about. Of course, thank you very much. You are here at Des Moines, Iowa. Don't they offer good trainings? Very good leadership trainings. And next year, see you in Calgary, right? Sign up today for a discount. So Lyon University, like I mentioned, on the BA, MA, doctorate checks for the certificates. But most importantly, at least go in there and look at the titles. Pick out the one. They are just 1 hour long for each one of them. So that is a great learning resource for your knowledge and skill right there, and resource right there. Okay, so team is very important. And then the GAT, how many of you have GAT in your club level? Not enough, right? You know that? So the rest of you who don't, look into it. There are some classes going on, GAT, GMT, and then get those to be your people resource. Let them help you out. They're more than happy to help you out to get you on your way. Now, we talked about NAMI and NOAMI before. That's the acronym for North America Membership Initiative. What it is the membership. North America is really dropping in membership, so they're trying. So now, let's forget about the NAMI, because that has converted this year into what we call GMA. So be familiar with that acronym. That is not an initiative, it's a process. It's called Global Membership Approach. It's bringing the North America Membership Initiative into a global. Now the world is using that as an approach. There'll be more coming up on that, and I do in my resource link have a link for you to look into more detail about what exactly is GMA. Okay, and that's evolving too. So team is actually like this. You are really here, but you're not alone. You're connected on the club level, the zone, the region, the district, multiple district, what is that? Constitutional area, and then the Lions International. So we are all this is our Lion family, and you are at the center of it. And all the rest have resources for you. So if you want this slide will be on the LU 132, which you will need to go into anyway in order to get your quiz if you want your credit.
And this will be posted after the forum is over. You should see everything probably on Monday.
Great.
This presentation.
And if you still cannot find it, I have a few business card here. Not business card. I use a Lion card. I use this format to draw new members and to start new clubs. So my email is very easy to remember. lionfannychu@gmail. So worst come to worst, you can always contact me. Okay, so transition and succession. This is the pet theory of our first international Vice President Brian Sheehan. So when you have a chance, go to his seminar. He's the most fun presenter I've ever known, right? Yes, You will enjoy him so much, and he will make you remember what he talks about. That's the thing. So if you have by any chance, this is actually what he presented, I believe, in one of the virtual training. If not, was the last virtual. I don't remember, but anyway, if you look him up, his theme is like he's very much important, conscious about passing the baton and finding leaders and transitioning them into their respective roles. Remember we talked about roles and responsibility? Yes, and so here is, we are coming in full cycle right now for transition and succession. So to recap, so this is what we set out as our objective, and hopefully we have touched on all of these. Too brief, I believe, but still. Okay, to enable and empower all of you, Lion Club officers with knowledge, skill, and resources to be successful in your respective roles as Lion Club officers. So we had the club structure, we have the roles and responsibility, touched on some skills, the SWOT analysis. We talked a little bit about the challenges that you will be looking at, and trainings and team, and for sustainability and success, and also transition. And did we cover them all? Great. Okay, so here's the resource link. Okay, you can see that it is actually on mine. I use Word documents, so it's a live link. It has resources on the LCI resource and sample of the MD4 resource, and also sample of my district, online district library. We have all the trainings done last year in Zoom, and it's all recorded, and we are sharing. So those links will bring you to those if you want to look at them. Okay, so, and then it will be live link, right, at the course. Yes, if not, email me and I will send you the Word document so that it's easier for you to get access to it. Today is just the beginning. In order to continue, please fully utilize those resources. I'm only scratching a bare surface. So do we have time for Q&A?
You have a few questions, if you do have, yes.
Okay, he will guide us on the time. So I know I tried to engage you during the process, but here I am, Q&A.
If anybody has their darts that were handed to them at the door, you can start throwing them at her now.
If I don't know the answer, I will pass it on to the dean. Yes, sir.
Throughout the entire organization map that you have shown, is there a resource that explains what each of those layers' responsibilities?
Yes. Out of the LCI link that I have, that, let's go back to here. See the LCI link, resource, and it goes to club officers. Each one of the club officer has his own individual link to detail about roles and responsibility, and really step-by-step guidance also. Yes, try them, yeah.
Well, if there are no further questions, let's give Fanny a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you for attending. And I think this is a slide that is very important to you for explaining.
Okay.